We all need healing. The brokenhearted because of a relationship, divorce, chronic illness, relapsing into addictive behavior, depression, anxiety, loss, injustice, loneliness, isolation, rejection, and a lot more. But what is healing? I would like to start by quoting Elaine Marshall, who said, "On my first day as a nurse, I assumed cure, care, and healing to be synonymous. I've learned they're not the same. Healing is not cure. Cure is clean, quick, and done often under anesthesia. Healing, however, is often a lifelong process of recovery and growth in spite of and maybe because of enduring physical, emotional, or spiritual assault. It requires time. It requires all the energy of your entire being. You have to be there, fully awake, aware, and participating when it happens." Close quote. Healing is much more than getting better or having our problems go away. Healing is growth, development, and maturation. In a word, healing is change. It takes time and energy and struggle, but healing teaches us. Elaine Marshall continues on saying, "Remember, even with all that beauty and growth and grace, healing hurts." Jonathan Sandberg said, "Some people I've had the privilege of working with over the years had a hard time reconciling the fact that healing requires suffering, and yet it is a gift from God. How is it that a loving God will allow us to suffer? I've come to realize that God cares more about my growth than He does about my comfort. One evidence of His love is that He does not spare me from suffering that I need for my development and progression, even when I get mad at Him. In order for healing to occur, we have to be courageous enough to move forward when we are afraid. I've learned that healing hurts. Life hurts. Healing really only begins when we face the hurt in its full force and then grow through it with all the strength of our soul. Healing is not only private, but it is sacred. There's something so sacred about overcoming suffering. When we have a terrible loss or pain, we may seek to get back to normal or to the way things were before, but they will never be the same. Pain changes us, but not in the same way that healing teaches us. Healing can help us become more sensitive and more awake to life. Healing inspires repentance and obedience. Healing invites gifts of humility and faith. It opens our hearts to the profound complexities of truth, beauty, divinity, and grace. Modern people want to feel free of fear, isolation, lack of meaning, connection, and a sense of inner emptiness. But they want these things while remaining in the same state of awareness that created them. For these are all mental forms generated by our ego. The ego is the sense that makes us feel like we're separated individuals, pursuing our own personal desires and avoiding painful experiences, wanting to get ahead of everyone else. We mistakenly view the life of ego as healthy and normal, but you will always be haunted by the possibility of experiencing loneliness and isolation if we pursue this kind of lifestyle. If we pursue pleasurable experiences and avoid painful ones, then healing and renewal are impossible to take place in our hearts. Who we really are is already healed and whole. That's the secret of spiritual healing. And life is transformed once you know that secret. Now, what does healing and art? That secret. Transform once you know that secret. Now, what does healing and art have to do with one another? Art and music affect every cell in the body instantly to create healing. They change the immune system and the blood flow in all of our organs. Art and music put a person in a different brain wave pattern. They affect a person's nervous system, their hormonal balance, and their brain neurotransmitters. Art and music also immediately change a person's perception of the world. They change attitude, emotional state, and pain perception. They create hope and positivity, and they help people cope with difficulties. They transform a person's outlook and way of being in the world. In fact, it is now known by neurophysiologists that art, prayer, and healing all come from the same source in the body. They are all associated with similar brain wave patterns. In my own personal experience, last year as I was struggling with a series of heartbreaking experiences, I found healing by doing art. Does that mean that I am a very skillful, professional, extremely talented painter, dancer, musician, or any other kind of artist? No, absolutely not. I am a simple housewife who loves to do crafts. I cannot even cook a simple pancake, and so I am not talented or gifted in many different areas, but I do love to create beautiful posters. Digital art is something that I enjoy doing. Now, was I born with the abilities and the gifts to create what makes me feel happy? No, I had to learn it, I had to practice it, but after I learned, then I found freedom. I think art is linked to healing because it creates some space in your life where you are yourself and you don't have to hide anything. It is a connection, it is a communication between you and whomever you are inside yourself. Everything you have inside your heart and your mind, this is art is the right space where you can communicate those feelings. Sometimes it's hard, especially for people who are struggling with anxiety and depression or loneliness. It is hard to find someone who can understand our struggle. Even when we are surrounded by family and loved ones and we're experiencing pain, it is hard to find someone who can understand our brokenness. But art is the perfect space to find understanding and healing. I invite you all to take the time to make the space in your life to find healing. As we go through life, there might be many different wounds that we have tried to cure, but we haven't tried to heal. And healing, like I said before, means that we are going to face the pain and the fact we need to have those conversations with ourselves.